Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Point of View with there's Cleester, Merethah, and me, Shirley, down here. It's such a wonderful day. It's such a wonderful day, and I am so thankful to God because He has blessed us to be here one more time. Eula has an appointment today, so she more than likely will not be with us. So we thank God that she is back with us. But we know how it is. We have to have these appointments to keep us functioning properly or let us know when we need to do something or not do something or keep on doing what we're doing. Okay. So thanks be to God that He has blessed us. Now, sisters, what are your topics today?
Mine is a continuation. How to deal. Excuse me. How to emotionally and physically protect yourself.
Okay, part two.
Mine
And
is how to deal with people that violate your boundaries.
oh, what that's a good one. And mine is looking for Mr. Goodbar and the possible consequences.
Wow.
Whoa. You remember
Wow.
that movie, Look When It's a Good Bar?
That movie,
Oh,
yes,
Yep.
yes,
yes. The movie Looking for
yes.
Mr.
I
Goodbar,
remember that
yes.
movie.
And so, dear God, as we sit before you to speak, we pray to you that our souls you will keep. And if we should die before we finish, we pray to you, dear God, in the name of Jesus, that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Amen. Yes, so we have some great topics. So, Maritha, I'm
Yeah.
going to put it into your hands so you can do your part two.
Okay.
Hello,
All right.
everyone. I just want to say hello to everyone.
Hi,
And do you
everyone.
know let me see, on our show, Tuesday show, between the two Facebook pages that I had, because I took the other one off. Are we on Facebook today? Oh, yeah, I'm
Yes.
looking at us. Okay. So, so I took that other one off because it's dividing our count, even though they're both my accounts, but we had 100
Yay.
Oh, all
views.
right.
Yes, between the two Facebook pages. And then, of course, we have some that are probably looking on, what is it, YouTube. And then we have Twitter, we have Twitch, we have LinkedIn. So I am just so thankful that God is blessing us. He's
Yes.
blessing us. And it's just wonderful, wonderful. So now at this time, I turn it into your hands.
All right.
Marita,
Hello. All right.
Oh,
Marita, Marita.
Yay. So mine again was how to emotionally and physically protect yourself, and it was co-authored by Ashley Smiley and Danielle Blinken, MAMPEA, and this is from
Okay.
WikiHow. So the continuation, when I stopped off, this one is starting with being safe in relationships. Okay,
Mhm, mhm,
set clear boundaries in your relationships to protect your emotions. Boundaries are exceptions. Are expectations you have for your friends, family, romantic partners. They help other persons understand that you won't tolerate what you won't tolerate in a
mhm,
relationship. Talk to people about what you're not okay with them
mhm,
doing and what will happen if they do. For instance, you might tell your best friend, if you share my secrets with anyone, I won't be able to trust you.
mhm,
Similarly, you might tell your sister, it's not okay for you to read my journal. If you
mhm,
spy on me, I'm going to tell mom.
mhm,
Number two, build trust before you share secrets with anyone. Trust, trust. Okay? Be careful who you trust also. I was reading some things earlier about some different people who throughout history we thought they were one thing, but they turned out to be another. All right? Really. Build trust before you share secrets with someone. Typically, you only share the most intimate secrets with your closest friends and loved ones. Don't reveal your personal information to anyone you don't really know well. Additionally, take your time to get to know someone before you open up. Make sure that you're sharing the same type of personal information with you, so the mutual trust, so you have mutual trust. Make
mhm.
sure when you share someone, they're sharing someone back.
Right.
Okay, sharing something back with you.
Mhm,
It's unfair, but some people aren't trustworthy. Be really careful about who you talk to about your secrets. Three, stay away
mhm,
from people who try to hurt your feelings. It's super painful when someone calls you a name or insults you. However, try to remember that this says more about them than it does about you. Don't define yourself by the way what other people say. Instead, distance yourself from people who are mean. Keep in mind that people are often mean because they feel bad about themselves. Don't let them say what they say get to you. Walk away and spend time with someone who cares about you.
Mhm.
Here's a tip. If a person is bullying you, tell someone who can help you immediately. Bullying is never your fault, and the person needs to stop immediately. That includes online bullying, in school bullying, telephone bullying, anything, because bullies comes in all shapes, forms, and fashions.
Oh,
Man,
yes.
Anywhere, anytime. It doesn't matter the age, it doesn't matter the race. A bully is a bully.
bully
A
is a
bully
Um,
is a
bully.
bully
they
is a
think they're,
bully.
yeah, huh?
I said a bully is a bully is a bully.
Is a bully. Practice safe sex if you're sexually active. First, wait until you feel emotionally and physically ready to have sex before being intimate. When you feel ready, talk to your partner about each of your sexual histories. Then make sure that you use protection, like a condom.
Mhm.
You might say to your partner before we have sex, I want to talk to you about your sexual history. I never had sex before. What about you? Condom protects both for pregnancy and sexually transmitted disease. They're about 98% effective when used correctly. If you're a teen, it's best to talk to your parent or trusted adults before you have sex. That'll help you make a decision to protect your health and your emotional well-being. Avoid dangers. They have this thing, when we used to go to the club and stuff, you would sit your drink down, and you
Yeah.
don't know, and then walk away, and then come back and pick your drink up. You don't do that because you don't know if someone's putting something in your drink or not. I experienced that with a friend of mine. This guy didn't think we were watching, and he slipped something in her drink. And when she came back to the table, I told her, "Don't you drink that?" What? I don't drink it. Oh no, it wasn't. This is him. Oh no, it wasn't none. I said, then you drink it. And he picked it up and drank it. That's fine, but you're not going to drink that. So they made these little things that slip over glasses. It's a little plastic cover that you can slip over your glass now, so that and your straw is the only thing that sticks out of it to protect you now. And that's a shame that you have to do that. That you can't trust people.
But you remember Mama always told us don't put nothing down, then go back and drink.
Right.
She
Yep.
told us
Don't
that
go.
from birth.
We've been
Yep.
practicing that for,
Right.
and you mean your generation that is just ain't getting on to that? Because we
No,
were talking.
no. This was when I was young.
No, that's what I'm saying. Because even me, Clea
Yeah.
and me, that was a no. Don't
Yeah.
ever put your drink.
You now put your but
But we
and then you speaking
were
you
at the
speaking on
table,
safe,
and so we figured, it
No,
was
you
safe.
never figure. Well, I understand what you're saying, but
because
you
your
never
friends
figure.
were around. Yeah, I understand
Yeah.
what you're
And
saying.
he
Mhm.
did that so quick that it was but I'm always watching. All right. So my page turned for me and
You're
everything.
talking about safety, right?
Huh? Yes,
You're
safety.
still on safety.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Because I was
Right.
listening to on one of these social media sites where this guy said a man walks up to you and you think he's trying to talk to you. Girl, how you doing? You look so good. You ain't got you got a man at home. He said, now you notice he didn't say, do you have a boyfriend?
Right.
He asked you if you have a man
A
at home
man.
because he wants to know what type of security you have
That's
at
right.
home.
That's right.
He said, now you notice he didn't say if you have a boyfriend at home, you have a
No.
husband at home. He said, do you have a man at home? Because he's trying to check out your security.
That's right. That's right. And people say things, you're not paying attention. They think you're not paying attention to them. It doesn't matter what I have in my home.
Yeah,
I got
some
to get
people
the
don't.
lesson.
Some women need to be glad a man is talking to them. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
I got
He's
two
trying
men
to
at the
rap
house,
to me.
man.
No, he's not trying to rap to you. He's trying to fill you out. So he can follow you home and do what he needs to do.
Exactly.
Some slick winners out there.
That's right.
Yes, it is.
Exactly. Be aware of your environment so you can avoid potential threats. Try not to worry when you're in public because you're probably not in danger. However, stay alert and observe your surroundings so you're less vulnerable. Keep your phone put away so you aren't distracted. Look around to see if anyone is nearby. Uh-oh, what was that? A
Me?
potential attacker is less likely to pick you if you seem alert and aware. If you're alone, walk at a quick pace so you can get to your destination faster. Travel in a group and help you stay safe. You probably heard the phrase safety in numbers, and it's true. You're
That's
usually in
true.
less
Amen.
danger if you're with other people. When possible, stick close to a buddy or group when you're out in public. When you're out with your family and friends, always ask someone to go with you when you walk away from the group. If you're alone and there are people nearby, stick close to the pack unless there is someone else that you feel threatened. Variation. If you have a dog, take it with you when you're going out alone, especially if you're on a jog or a walk for fitness. A dog might scare off would-be attackers. This little thing,
Yeah,
might beat you.
she got some fight in her.
She
Back home.
She gonna let me know somebody there because she talks so much.
That's the truth. That's the truth about them little dogs. They will let you know somebody's there. Yeah.
She gonna let me know. We be in the bed in there, and she all of a sudden she'll sit up because she hear people out there, and she'll. I'm like, what is she doing? But I don't stop because it's the middle of the night, and I don't know what she hears.
And she's warning you.
Yes, she is. Listen to your gut. Remember the one I said about gut instincts? Listen to your gut if something feels wrong. You probably had moments when your inner voice told you to be cautious and your gut was talking to you. While your gut might sometimes be wrong about things, it's important to listen to it when your safety is involved. If something feels wrong to you, take the warning and move to a safer location. Additionally, call someone you trust for help if you can. Let's say you're walking across the parking lot and you see someone who looks threatening. Keep your distance from them and move as quickly as possible to a building, a car, or a hiding spot. If you're parked next to a van and it's on your driver's side and that door is on your driver's side and you feel like it's sketchy, get in on your passenger side or don't get in at all. Go back in the store until it moves. I mean, nowadays it pays to be safe. Everyone is not nice. Everyone is not, they think you're not paying attention. Pay attention. Get you some mace. Put it on your keychain. Keep your little blade in your bra. Keep yourself safe. Come back, what is that? People think you're not paying attention. If someone wants to do something, they've studied it. They've made plans. They've done their homework. But also, you can keep yourself safe by doing your homework.
Right.
Yourself safe by studying your surroundings and do what you need to do. Don't be no fool. Just. And you don't have to be paranoid. This is not paranoia. This is taking care of you. Be aware. I live in an apartment. I'm so glad at night, now that they fixed all these lights out here, it looks like daylight out here at night. And I like that.
Yes.
Because there are no dark corners out here. When you drive up out here, it's bright. And I love it because you can see everything. I can sit on my patio and seem like I'm sitting out there in the daytime. And it's just safety. People, it's some nice people out there, and there's some rotten people out there. Just be careful and take care of you. When God made you, He made you.
That's right.
He loves you, and He made you with discernment and to evaluate your situation and to keep yourself safe.
That's right.
So take care of yourself. And there's some more things if you want to go on and read it. It's at wikihow.com. So I'm going to finish. Listen to your gut feelings. Make safe decisions while you're having fun. Don't accept a ride from someone you don't know. We all know that. Keep your personal items locked up and secure. All right? So
All right.
that's me. That's me. I'm done.
All
That's
right. Oh
my
yeah,
safe and secure.
that was wonderful, Louisa. That was wonderful.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Being safe.
Yes,
Reedy,
that was wonderful.
do you want me to go or you want to go, Reedy?
No, I know. I told you I might have to leave early because I got to
Oh,
have him in
okay.
school.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, I might have to have him. Well, I know Mac told I have to have him at school, and he just not told me this, and we're just getting home. So
Oh,
mine is
okay.
on how to deal with people that violate your boundaries.
Okay.
Okay, and it's by Sharon Morton. Hey, okay. Unfortunately, people who are manipulative, narcissistic, and have poor sense of self tend to repeat it. Poor sense of self tend to repeatedly violate personal boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest challenges that people have boundaries is figuring out what to do when someone repeatedly violates them. There isn't a one size fits all answer to the question. Let's first consider a few of the variables. Who is violating your boundaries? The nature, power differential, and closeness of the relationship make a difference. Your
Mm-hmm.
response to your mother will be different than your response to your boss,
Mm-hmm.
which will be different yet from your response to your neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Is your boundary violated, willing to be changed, violated, willing to be changed? Is he or she willing to work with you to improve the relationship? Is he or she willing to go to counseling? Is he
Mm-hmm.
or she sensitive to your needs or feelings? How long has this been going on? Longer behavior patterns are harder to change, but certainly possible when people is motivated. Has the boundary violator been physically aggressive? Safety paramount. If safety is paramount, if the person violating your boundaries has been a violent or threatened violence, you
Mm-hmm.
need to proceed with caution. I highly
Yeah.
recommend getting help from supportive people, professionals, and or law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a minor? If you're a child, you must ask an adult for help. Reach out to an adult at school or at church, a friend and parents, or a hotline. You need
Mm-hmm.
to figure it out alone. Don't tell anybody figure this out alone because people have mouths and that's what they do. They run and talk and they run
Mm-hmm.
and tell before you can get to somebody for help. They know who you talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
he said that you was doing this and that and other. Now they done put you in danger. Not
Yep.
you already violated your boundaries. Now you're
Yes.
in danger
Yep.
Yes.
to shut you up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you truly setting
Mm-hmm.
consistent boundaries? In my experience, people tend to overestimate the strength of their. It's understandable that sometimes you back down, feel tired, overwhelmed, or scared.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put your boundaries. Just like setting rules with children, boundaries don't work when they are only enforced some of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Boundaries need to be especially clear and consistent when you're dealing with someone who doesn't respect you, such as a person looking in a hole in your boundaries, looking for a hole in your boundaries and using them against you.
Mm-hmm.
So be sure to assertively and clearly telling him or her that this behavior is not okay and follow through with the consequences. I see these things may not make you feel ashamed or bad about yourself if your boundaries are inconsistent. These are common trouble spots in setting boundaries. My hope is to help you gain more awareness of things that you can control, namely yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Self-awareness is empowering. That's true. If you what in the world happened? Am I by myself? I guess I am. Okay, I'm gonna keep on going. I don't even know if I'm on or not. Uh, when you recognize where you're slipping, you can offer yourself both self compassion and accountability. Now, on to original questions of what to do when someone considers to violate your boundaries. Let me see something because I think I'm on here by myself. I don't know. No? I'm sorry, y'all. If somebody listening, I'm sorry. But I'm just making sure I wasn't by myself. Y'all let me know if y'all hear me or not. Okay.
Yes.
Original question. Y'all just left me out here by myself.
I did like this. I said, excuse me, just 1 minute. I had to turn off my food.
Well, you might have put up your church finger, but I didn't see you and I did not excuse you.
I
And Shirley didn't even put up
apologize.
her church. I don't know if Shirley put up her church finger or not because I thought I was talking about myself.
I
Okay.
apologize. I did.
Yeah, you dollar pass. Continue to set strong, consistent batteries. I know this is obvious and redundant because I was like, okay, if y'all are still there, I'm still talking. But if y'all ain't there, I'm just
No,
talking
you're
to
still
myself.
there. I just did
I was
like
still
this. I said,
I was just talking to myself. However, this is the part
go
you
right ahead, sweetie.
control. You don't control. I'm sorry.
Go right ahead, sweetie.
Oh, okay. Now I'm sweetie. You don't control how people respond. Can't force people to respect your boundaries. Write it down. Record the boundary violations and your responses. I remember. I'm okay. I'm to another thing now. I
Go
was
ahead.
on social media again. This guy was talking about his boundaries. He said he doesn't work to work. He works. He gets jobs to sue. He said every job he's been on, he's sued, and he's 100% on suing. Every job he said he sued. He sued AT&T. He sued. Yes, he sued
Why?
Sprint because he's going in there to people to mess with boundaries. Okay, if somebody's over there talking, he was explaining this. If somebody's over there talking in the break room, they're talking about who they slept with through the weekend, right? And all the people they slept with through the weekend. So he's notating this and tell them that this is where he's at. He tells them, look, man, I'm not comfortable with y'all talking about Sheila. He just gave her name. Sheila like that. Would y'all please shut it down? Okay, now he go back to work and they do it again. This next weekend they do it again. So he goes to human resources and tell them that they talk about their sex. He don't feel safe with them talking about how they slept with this person and that person. He doesn't feel safe. Now human resources call them in. This is what he says. Human resources call them in, so they don't know who did it. So he tell them, yeah, I did it. So now he's pregnant. And human resources didn't keep him safe, so he sues. He said he wins every time. He said he don't go to work to get a job. He go to work to sue. And he said he got 100% rate on every job he done had. Because his boundaries. They said they messed with his boundaries. And everywhere he go, he get a job, he sue.
Wow.
Yes, right.
So
I
he
missed
making a
it
living
because
suing people.
Huh?
I missed that part because I was having technical difficulties over here.
So
Okay,
he
well,
making
yes,
a living suing people.
he makes a living suing the companies he worked for. He said he's
And
had a
they
lot
keep
of
hiring
jobs.
him.
He said he's got $10,000 out of AT&T, $10,000 out of Sprint. He got $200 something out of another company. He was telling it. He was telling it. When I found it again, I'm gonna so you can watch. Because he said he don't go. He said when people know he going to work, they know he going to sue. Hire him, finna get sued. He said, okay, then that person gets sued. And he said they want to call him. They say man, now how you get about that? So he said he told him, no, I ain't telling you nothing now. I tried to help y'all to doing it. But y'all was scared and all that kind of stuff. So don't talk to me now that they done fired you because it worked.
Wow.
Yes. So record your boundary violations and responses. This will help you check for weak spots in your boundaries. If you notice that you aren't consistently setting healthy boundaries, make adjustments. And if you're being very consistent, writing it down will help you decide if you can accept these violations. Be clear with yourself about treatment you'll accept and what you won't. People also have a tendency to set boundaries in their mind and then allow it to be pushed back and pushed back. For example, I knew a woman who who years prior had told herself that she wouldn't tolerate her husband coming home drunk and cursing her anymore. By the time I met her, her husband was coming home drunk several times per week, regularly cursing at her at the front and their children. And he slapped her once. This is far beyond she thought she had put up her she they didn't put no comma she put up with. It helps to write it down the boundaries and or say it out loud to a supportive person who will help you stay in tune. Accept that people will not respect your boundaries no matter what you do. This is a difficult truth to accept because we like to, they don't have commas, W-E-D, wed. Excuse me, we'd like to be able to force people to respect our boundaries. I know it's disappointing to realize that you may have to make personal hard decisions about whether you want to or continue to have a relationship with a person who doesn't respect your boundaries. But you can't change someone else's behavior. You can choose to accept it or you can choose to disengage. Detach. I'm sorry?
Get some yonder.
Get some yonder every time. Yep. Detach from the outcome. One way to detach from narcissistic person is to stop responding in the same old ways. Some people intentionally violate boundaries to hurt you.
Yep.
Get a reaction out of you or to exert control. Yes, they do.
Yes.
Don't engage in the same old arguments with these people. You can choose to ignore or laugh off their comments and not show them that it hurts you. This shift of power. This doesn't apply to someone physically harming you. This is true. Decide to limit or cut off contact. If Great Uncle Johnny makes you feel uncomfortable, too close, and making sexually charged comments, you can decide not to attend family gatherings at his house or to attend them but not alone with him or avoiding seeing him ever again. You have choices. There we go. This is what I'm telling you. Okay. Others pressure you to stay minimize your feeling or to harm your experiences. When you decide that you need to make changes in a relationship due to boundary violations, not everyone will be supportive. This is not the time to be a people pleaser. It's not healthy to stay in contact with someone who causes you harm in order to make someone else happy. Don't continue living in Great Uncle Johnny's house because your dad says you're overreacting, and that's just how Uncle Johnny is. You know how that is. Y'all stay away from Uncle Johnny, because y'all know how Uncle Johnny is. And then when Uncle Johnny touched you, well, y'all know how he is. I told y'all to stay away from him. Ain't no need to crying about it now. I told y'all from him. That's when that knife in the bra come out. Hand it, Thada. Hey, maybe your dad has a perfectly respectful and pleasant relationship with Uncle Johnny, or maybe he's oblivious to how Uncle Johnny treats you. There are infinite reasons for your dad to say this. This point is, it doesn't matter. You are uncomfortable and you need to honor that. You love and care about boundary violators. Often, the boundary violator is a parent or a spouse or someone else you care about. Obviously, it's much easier to detach and walk away from someone you don't love deeply. It's actually not healthy to love anyone else more than you love yourself. Let me say that again. It's not healthy to love anyone else more than you love yourself. More than you love
I love me some me, baby.
That's right. I love me some me too.
I love me some me.
That's right.
I'm going to check something out. Just keep on talking.
Setting boundaries is a form of, thank y'all for saying it, self-love and self-respect. I thought I was by myself. I was getting ready to call it a night. Adios, amigos. If you don't love and respect yourself, others won't either. You can ask your loved ones to engage in a process of change with you, such as family counseling, going to support group, or reading a book about boundaries. If they refuse or don't follow through, they're telling you they don't intend on changing. You are once again faced with the needing to decide if it's healthy for you to continue in the relationship as as is or with modifications. I had a client once loved again loved his aging mother.
All right. Of course, you know I'm back.
I'm sorry, he loved his aging mother, but she was verbally abusive and intrusive with her questions. She criticized everything her son did for her to help her. He couldn't bear to cut her out of his life, but he was miserable before, during, and after each visit. His way of dealing with was to hire someone to help her day through the daycare and limit his visits to once a week. Whenever his mother began to criticize, he told her she was being critical and hurtful and cut visits short. This was the best solution that he could come up with. Dealing with someone who repeatedly violates your boundaries is about identifying your choices, choosing the best option. None may be ideal, respecting yourself and trusting your instincts. Unfortunately, there is no easy answer. Setting boundaries sometimes means others will be angry or get offended by your choices, and sometimes you cannot continue to have them in your life. There you go. Boundaries. Set them.
Boundaries.
Don't let nobody
And you know
hurt
what?
you. Don't
You know
love
what?
nobody more than you love yourself. Now I'm gonna give you this. I love my children more than I love myself. But that's it.
That's it.
That is it.
Yep. But you know, you people get when you give someone something, when you say like, hey, you know, don't say that, you know, don't do that, don't say that. Then they take it as a little joke and will try to
Yes.
pierce you with it, pierce you
Yes.
with it, pierce you with it,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
because they know that
Yes.
gets to you. And you can't, don't do
That's
that,
it.
you know, and it's the way you don't do that, you know, because I've had it happen to me. Hey, don't say that.
Uh-huh.
That girl, yes,
Yep.
saying, don't say that. That's not my, you know, no. And then when you get pissed,
Uh-huh.
when you get mad at them, oh, I was just joking, but I
I
asked
was
you
just playing.
not to say that.
Uh-huh.
You wasn't playing. You did it to hurt
Yep.
me. So I tell you
Yep.
what, I'm cutting you off.
Exit.
I'm cutting you off.
Exit.
And when you cut them
Stop it with
off,
the X. That's what I'm talking about. Exit and exit. Exit. What that thing say? Exit. Stage left.
exit, stage left.
What was his
You
name?
know,
Stage left.
us.
Snagglepuss.
There you go, Shirley.
Stage left. Yes, ma'am.
You know,
That's him. Ah.
but they, you know, it's a joke to them, but it's not a joke to you. Let them
It's
know
not a
it
joke.
hurts
That's
you.
right. It's not a
You
joke.
let them know, hey, I don't like that. But they, oh, it's funny to them. But if you my friend, you wouldn't consider that funny.
You were, that's right. But see,
When I
some
told
people,
you how I feel about that.
some people get in your life just to spy on you.
There you go.
They get in your life to spy on you, and they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
And you think they're trying to be your friend, but they're spying on you. You turn around and next day they got on what you had on yesterday.
Yep.
Are you telling something, they run and beat you to it?
Yep.
That you know how that feels.
Yep.
Hello, Linda Haley, Ruby Coleman, Merethah. Oh, you girl, shut up. Laterica and Jennifer. Hi, y'all. Thank you for watching. And I am done. I got to take this baby to school. So I love y'all. But I got to go because I got to take him. You know, his school is in another place. So I got to go.
We love you too.
Okay, I love y'all and have a great day. Thank you, everyone, for joining
You too.
in.
Have a great day. You going into work today?
No, tomorrow.
Oh, okay. All right.
Tomorrow.
Love you.
Okay, love y'all.
Talk to you later, love.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So now I'm going to mine, which is Looking for Mr. Goodbar. And we know about that movie, Looking for Mr. Goodbar. And I watched it. That you know, that movie was in 1975.
I know I was little.
Yes, I remember that movie, and I think about that movie quite often. But when it came to my mind today, and when I looked it up, I had no idea that it was based on a true story.
Oh.
It is based on a true story. It is written by a reporter who covered it. So it said, this day in history, which was January 1st, 1973. And this is from the history.com, the History Channel,
Yeah.
history.com. It said January 1st, the real life murder behind looking for Mr. Goodbar.
Murder.
Murder.
Oh, I didn't know she was murdered.
You didn't know that?
No.
At the end of it, yes.
Well, see, it's been so many years. You're going to make me have to go back and watch the movie now.
Oh, yes. So the real life murder behind looking for Mr. Goodbar. So Roseanne Quinn, a 27-year-old New Yorker, visits Tweed's Bar on the Upper West Side and is picked up by a soon-to-be killer. The incident inspires the cautionary novel and subsequent movie Looking for Mr. Goodbar. For many, Quinn's murder represented the dark side of the sexual revolution. At Tweed's on New Year's night, Quinn had met John Wayne Wilson, an outwardly charming but seriously disturbed man who was dealing with problems of sexual identity and orientation. He was homosexual but refused to admit it to himself,
Wow.
leading to violent feelings toward women. At her home later that night, Wilson beat Quinn, stabbed her numerous times, and sexually assaulted her before finally killing her.
Oh, wow.
Before he could stand trial for his brutal crime, Wilson hanged himself in jail in May 1973. In 1975, Judith Rosner wrote the best-selling novel Looking for Mr. Goodbar, which described a similar incident and served as a warning to women about the dangers of anonymous one-night stands. And Diane Keaton starred in the popular movie version of the book in 1977. And so, looking for Mr. Goodbar and the possible effects, okay? So, the effects of human sexual promiscuity, because, she was looking for that right person, whatever, and then being hooked up with the wrong one. And so, and I thank God, because all of us have not lived a saved life forever. Yeah. We have not been perfect. We have made mistakes. We have done wrong. But thanks be to God that he has kept us. I'll say me, I'll make it personal, that he has kept me. Out of all the things in my life from the years back, he protected me. And there's that song that said, I'm not lucky, I'm blessed. Truly blessed. Because he has blessed us to come through so many dangers, seen and unseen sexual promiscuity for many, many people. And we might have had maybe one partner, at a time or something like that. But then, hey, we are blessed.
Yeah.
We're not lucky. We are blessed because, getting into this, and then I'll come in some more. The new effects of human sexual promiscuity. And this is WikiHow. The neutrality of this article is disputed. So it's disputed, but he's asking us not to, or he or she, whoever wrote it, is asking not to make any changes. Please do not remove this message until conditions to do so are met. And this is June 2022. And so then human sexual promiscuity is the practice of having many different sexual partners. In the case of men, this behavior of sexual non-discrimination and hypersexuality is referred to as wait a minute, I had it right. Satyriasis, okay? That's what it's called for men. Mm-hmm. While in the case of women, this behavior is conventionally known as nymphomania. You know how we've heard people say she's a nymphomaniac. Yeah, nymphomaniac. Okay. So both conditions are regarded as possibly compulsive and pathological qualities closely related to hypersexuality. So the results of or costs associated with these behaviors are the effects of human sexual promiscuity. And we didn't know while we were out there in the world doing things, even with the regular partners we had, even with like my husband's, we really didn't know what the outcome would be.
No.
We
No.
didn't know. We just didn't know. But thank God, what the songs I could have been dead, buried in my grave, but God spoke and made death behave. So none of us knows what could have happened and what God was protecting us from, even though we were married. And then when we were not married, and those of us who were sexually active before we learned better, then he protected us. He didn't let somebody murder us. He didn't let us get infected with all kinds of diseases and all that. And that's where I'm going now. A high number of sexual partners, talking about looking for Mr. Goodbar and the possible consequences of looking for Mr. Goodbar, is not a good outcome because we don't know what's lurking around in people's bodies. We just don't know. And then we don't know what might be in our bodies. And it just takes one mixture of another person's what fluids or whatever to trigger what might be laying dormant or lying dormant in our bodies. So we just don't know. We just don't know. So a high number of sexual partners in a person's life usually means they are at a higher risk of sexually transmitted infectious and life-threatening cancers. These costs largely pertain to the dramatic consequences to physical and mental health. I know we think about, and most of the time you hear people say, well, you get sick, you might get AIDS, you might get these things that I'm going to mention later. But people haven't, I don't hear people relating sexual promiscuity to mental illness. Now I know that by being a nymphomaniac, and being a psoriasis, one of those. But we don't hear them say you might have mental problems and all that. And we know they say, if you're one of those, it's something going on in your brain and that you want it a lot and all of that. So anyway.
Well, men are checking themselves into rehab facilities now for things like that now. When they get caught, they'll go and check themselves into rehab to start.
They say they have an addiction, but that's just a way of getting pleasing the court system and all of that.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Now, how long have they been doing it before they got caught?
Exactly.
Okay. Now, so these costs largely pertain to the dramatic consequences to physical and mental health. Excuse me, please. The physical health risks mainly consist of the sexually transmitted disease risks, such as HIV and AIDS, that increases as individuals have developed sexual partners over the lifetime. And so, some people have multiple sexual partners. They don't know what's going on. And some people, I've been tested, but still, hey, you do not know. And just because they look good in their clothes, oh, he's so handsome, she's so pretty, oh, she just, gorgeous.
Just because it look good to you don't mean it's good for you.
Good for you. Excuse me. And so many things are going on, and the next thing you know, you got caught up and got something, and many times you can't get rid of it. And just like this promiscuity with the wives and husbands and the significant others having sex with other people outside the relationship and all that, and taking that stuff home to their partners, their significant others and everything, and then giving them those things. And these things are life-threatening because we have heard so many times about people taking these diseases home to their spouses, and then they end up with HIV, end up with AIDS, or something that's life-altering, and then eventually takes these people's lives. Yes, ma'am. So we're talking about
looking like luggage; you keep it forever.
And yes, and like looking for Mr. Goodbar, but there are consequences. There are consequences, and I thank God that we didn't get caught up in that, and that we learned. And these lessons come to teach all of us, because just because we're not in them now, and we thank God, I thank God for salvation, thank him for wisdom and everything in my seasoned age, and for decades, he has blessed me not to be in that life and everything. And I thank him for that, for the wisdom and knowledge. And he has left it up to us We don't ever say that we know everything, because we know that nobody knows everything. But when God gives these topics to us, and then we want to share, I want to share, because there are some promiscuous people out there.
Yeah.
Some people really don't know the consequences of a good time.
Yeah.
It only takes one time to be infected.
One
Time to be infected.
Yep.
So the physical health risks mainly consist of sexually transmitted disease risks such as HIV and AIDS that increases as individuals have developed sexual partnerships for over a lifetime. The mental health risks typically associated with promiscuous individuals are mood and personality disorders, often resulting in substance use disorders and or permanent illness. Because when people have had these partners and then they find out they've been infected by these partners, then they've got to hopefully get to the doctor, and then they develop these mental things that they're worried about this and worried about that. Then they get on these medications, and then sometimes they start self-medicating and abusing the medication in order to cope. Some people start drinking heavily in order to cope, but then it still doesn't do anything because the dis-ease is still there. It's too late. And so these lessons come for those who people to hear and to think about the things. And there are people who are listening now that might even be affected, but then there is a way to have some peace, because it depends on you thinking and making yourself be at peace with your life.
Yeah.
And living the best life that a person can in the situation they are in. And so we can always help somebody else, talk to somebody else, be an example for somebody else. So the mental health risks are associated with the promiscuity. So these effects typically translate into several other long-term issues in people's lives and in their relationships, especially in the case of adolescents, are those with precious pathological illnesses, disorders, or factors such as family dysfunction and social stress. And the thing about it is, I know that if your spouse or your significant other, and I say significant other because I know everybody is not going to go to the courthouse and do all of that. And then we have contracts too that are legal in the United States, and in certain states there are contracts too that make it legal and everything. But some people are not going to do that. So I say significant other, if they haven't decided that they want to get married. But then we do have that common law that if you've cohabitated and you live together and then you have things common, then you are legally attached. Yes, legally. And so anyway, these things are, so just because a person might not have gone to the courthouse, but if you have a standing relationship with someone, then hey, you need to be true to that one person. And some people have an understanding that we're going to be have an open relationship. And that is so dangerous. So looking for Mr. Goodbar and the possible consequences, there are some deadly consequences. Deadly consequences. And it's by the grace of God. And you hear me repeat this and say this. But be it but for the grace of God, there go I.
Yep. And the thing is,
it could have been me.
You don't know what people are doing these days, because you've got men doing things that they shouldn't do, who are married, and they're doing things out there with different partners, and you got it's not
women doing the same thing.
Yes, and it's not pleasing. So you don't know who to trust. Being a single woman out here, dating is like playing Russian roulette. You don't know who to trust. And not being active. It's you just don't know. You don't know who to trust. It's just like when COVID hit. You know, uh, wearing the mask and stuff like that, trying to keep yourself safe. And just like I told one of my friends, I wear my mask because I don't know who you've been talking to. You know, I don't know whose face you've been in. And that's just
Mhm.
it's the same, it's the same.
Right. And the thing is, matters not how healthy a person looks
No.
or whatever. You have to be careful. And the thing that people have to do now is before you get attached, and I don't advise anybody to be promiscuous and have sexual outside marriage relationship, a committed contracted relationship. I don't say that, but I know some people are doing it, and I'm not judging anybody for doing it and everything, because like I said, be it but for the grace of God, there go I. I've been out in the world too. Okay, and so I don't sit here and play like I don't know what I'm talking about. I
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm talking about, and I know that I'm definitely talking about how God took care of me
Mm-hmm.
and didn't let me contract any of those diseases.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, and so the thing people have to do is when you do date, just if you date, you don't have to have a sexual
Nope.
encounter.
Nope.
You date a person, and then when you go on your date, go somewhere where there's a lot of people or whatever. And you know, some people don't care whether there's a lot of people around or not. Just like you were talking about people uh spiking your drinks. Or
Yep.
and it doesn't have to be a drink, it could be food. They can
Yes.
spike your
Your
food.
food.
So you really have to be careful because, like you were saying, you don't know people's intentions.
Yes. Yes.
You have to really be careful because some people they see the life you live and the service you give. I'm going to go all the way through that. The
Yep.
service you give, the doctrine you teach, you know,
Yep.
I'm telling you.
Yep.
And some people want to get next to you just to see if they can get next to you.
Next to you.
And then once they get next to you, then a lot of them going about their business.
Yeah.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
not what I thought she was. He's not what
Yeah.
I thought he was.
Yeah.
There are people out there like that. And there are some people who are time bombs. And we've seen people be prosecuted and sentenced for knowing that they have these diseases.
Yes.
And then they go and intentionally
Intentionally.
have a contact, personal, intimate contact with other people. And then those other people get that disease because they know that they're a walking time bomb. So
Yep.
looking for
If
Mr.
I'm gonna
Goodbar,
die, I'm gonna take somebody with me.
there are consequences for looking for Mr. Goodbar. Just like this lady, her life was taken from her, and he tortured her,
Yep.
stabbed her, and beat her, raped her, and then killed her in her
Because of
own
his
home.
insecurities.
Because of his insecurities, and then
Yep.
she had no idea
No.
what she was taking home with her.
No.
She had no idea when she walked in the bars who she was taking home with her,
Taking
what
home
the
with.
consequences would be. And then
Yep.
it ended up to this dear lady. Her life was taken from her. So this is a warning to all of us, saved, unsaved.
Yep.
This is a warning. Even there are people in the church. I didn't say
Yep.
saved.
Yep.
There are people in the
In the
church who
church.
go to church just to see if they can get somebody in the church to come over and do what they want them to do, and let them
Yep.
have their way with them. And
Yep.
then they're going on. There are some people that attend church and they, like they say, go through the church. See
Yep.
as many women as they can
Yep.
get, or as many men as they
Yeah.
can get, just to see. Some people pick out,
Yep.
enjoy going into the church
Yep.
to see how many people they can scar
Yep.
and all of that, just to prove a point. So and then there are many women who are lonely. They want somebody to love them.
Yep.
And there are many men who are lonely. They want somebody to love them. And then we have these professional
Yep.
perpetrators
Yep.
that know how to get next to desperate, lonely people. And they take advantage of that. And then they have left a trail of destruction behind them.
And they go
And so
out and
looking
just
for
keep
Mr.
going.
Goodbar, even though you're lonely, just hold out, ladies. Hold out, men. Hold out, men. Hold out, ladies, because I believe, just like I believe myself, that God has a person, if it's his desire for you to have your partner, your significant other, your spouse, he will give you the desires of your heart if your ways please him. And sometimes it seems like it takes forever, but he's preparing you. Okay, Santa, just wait on the Lord. Wait on the Lord. Wait on the Lord. He's
I
preparing
am.
you. He's preparing that person for you if it's his will
If it's
for
his will.
you to have someone. So
Yeah.
looking for Mr. Goodbar, it can be a dangerous thing. And there are people, I'm going out tonight and I'm going to have myself a time, baby. I'm going to, you know, how the things that they say,
Yeah.
you know, different. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. Talking about men
Be careful
and
what you
women.
wish for.
And I guarantee that every weekend or every time somebody goes out, somebody ends up in a dangerous situation. Looking for Mr. Goodbar and even looking for Miss Goodbar.
Mm-hmm. Oh, because
Because
there's
there
some
are people
females out there
out
to do
here
the
that
same
want to
thing.
be happy. There are people that want to be happy. They want somebody to love them. But many times we make mistakes, like we've all made those errors in judgment. But thanks be to God, he has protected us from all hurt, harm, and danger. And by his grace, we have learned lessons from the past. And we know how to go on in the future and be positive. And just like I say, I thank God. I thank God for my significant other because he is such a gentleman. You know, I don't talk about him much. He's such a gentleman. He's very respectful and respectable, and he is very good to me. So when it's time to sign on the dotted line, I go sign on the dotted line, baby. I love him. We love everybody. So looking for Mr. Goodbar or Miss Goodbar, sometimes it doesn't turn out the way we want it. We go out, we're laughing and we're having a good time and just want to be happy for at least a couple of hours. And some people do not survive that.
Nope.
Young people, older people, people in between.
And you know, Ted Bundy was
these diseases that people are getting from these hookups. They call them hookups. And all of that. They have all these dating apps and these dating things and all of that. You don't know what you're getting. I remember one of these, and I know we have a minute. Oh, and I hope everybody saw the program yesterday. If you did not, please go back and look at that Spoke Light On or Spoke Light On. And I had Sister Janice McCollister yesterday. But people, God will give you who you need. I remember one of these Christian stations around here, we call themselves having a dating service or whatever, people calling in. And some of those people that were calling in didn't know anything about God.
Quick.
The way they talked, you know. So we have to be careful. We have to be prayerful. God said, pray. Men ought always to pray, not faint. Watch and pray.
Yep.
So looking for Mr. and Ms. Goodbar is not a good, safe thing. Nope. God will send you who you need when you need that person. But most of all, depend on him, rely on him, because he has protected all of us from hurt, harm, and danger, like I said, and these diseases and all of that. Because some of us did look for Mr. or Ms. Goodbar out there, and we might have done a hookup or something like that, but he has protected us. So I thank you so much, Dana. Were you saying something?
We forgot our discussion.
Say it.
We forgot our discussion today.
Oh, about the we'll talk about the AR
AK-47s.
AK-47. We have a request, and we're just going to take a little bit of time and talk about that, and we're not going to show any people and all of that is. But someone suggested they wanted to hear about the what do you call
The
it?
damages that it does for the
Yes, and all that. So
AK-47.
yes, and so you know what? This what we're talking about today can do just as much harm to your body. It might not be an outer appearance, but
Yeah.
just it's a death sentence, just like it. We love you, everybody. We love you. That'll please remind us. Let's see, you
Yeah.
should have reminded me. Okay.
Well,
All
we
right.
got
We love
talking, so
everybody. Yeah. I love you, sister.
I love you too, my darling.
Thank you, everybody, for being with us.
Thank
And so
y'all.
remember, looking for Mr. Goodbar or Miss Goodbar, be very careful, okay?
Very
Because
careful.
sometimes they're wrapped, those packages look good. The Goodbar package got all the colors in it and everything, but wrapped in that package, sometimes you can open it and look at that, and some of it has holes in it. Sometimes they have worms in them.
Oh, the worms. We just said the same thing.
Yes,
Worms.
because they have worms in them. So we have to make sure when we're unwrapping that package, make sure that package is legitimate. All right. Love you, everybody.
You don't mean it's good for you.
All right. See you later, alligator.
Bye. Love y'all.
Thank you for being with us, everybody. We love you so much.
Bye.